Hi, I'm Sam Heifel from Entertainment Weekly. I am joined now by the cast of the upcoming 24 Legacy. Obviously, 24 has a legacy of its own. It's this whole thing. I'm curious for you guys, for this new reboot, if you will, what is similar to kind of what fans know 24 being? What is a little bit different this time around?
We're not saying reboot.
Yeah.
No. New edition.
It's a new edition.
New edition. Okay.
Expansion of the world.
Expansion
I
of
like
the world.
expansion. Okay.
Yeah.
No.
It's an expansion of the world, so I think it's literally everything that everyone loves about the old show.
The
but
format of it
the
in
format
particular.
of it.
Okay.
But it's just, you get to see these new characters deal with these problems alongside the ticking clock. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And I grew up a fan of 24, and I craved it every week. It was just that new threat or that new thing, and I think this show definitely brings that and heightens it too.
Sure.
Certainly, the visualization of the show is iconic in so many different ways.
Yeah.
And to kind of reinvigorate it with new,
With you
new
people.
features. Okay.
The show always kind of, always incorporated real world issues, put its spin on that.
Right.
What can you guys say about like issues you might be tackling that we might see coming up? Anything?
The guys they're in the writer's
Much
room
quicker.
right now. We shot the pilot.
We shot the pilot, and that's all we know so
Yeah.
far. I didn't even know what's in the second episode.
Do you have any like dream issues you would love for the show to take on for your characters?
I'm getting
I don't know. I'm sure I'm sure they will reveal themselves. I mean, especially within the world that we live in now. I mean, art always sort of finds a way to imitate life. You know what I mean? And so I could only imagine that this show is going to tackle so many issues. You know what I mean?
Well, certainly in the pilot that we shot, there's an element of homeland kind of terrorism that
We're dealing
that's
with the
implicit.
presidential campaign.
Presidential campaign.
Yeah.
So
There's a few
it
teasers.
still has its kind of political vein that it tracks
Yeah.
Sure.
with incredible action and
The ticking.
As kind of taking over like the leading man role of
Yeah.
this series, how is Eric Carter different from Jack Bauer?
It's interesting. I think, first of all, it's been an enormous pleasure to kind of to step into this role, because when you first meet Eric, he's in federal witness protection, and he's sort of beginning to find what life is like after being in the military and trying to figure out domestic life, and things are actually going well. You know what I mean? And everything is good until it isn't. You know what I mean? Until it all catches up with him. But I think he's ambitious. He's everything you would want to play in a leading man. And it's just kind of fun to be able to jump into his mind and just go. You know what I mean? It's a luxury.
Yeah. The show also, I feel like, has such a history of having such like dynamic, strong female characters. What was it kind of about this role that really drew you in?
I think, after working on Homeland and being involved in that world, I was looking for another part like that. And when this script came in, I just found it incredibly current and so well written and so gripping. And I love the idea also of playing a woman who was deeply involved in this world, but then also has this whole other life as the wife of a man who was running for president, and what that kind of relationship is like between these two people, what that world is like, what it's like to be a woman in that position. So that was what really grabbed me.
but definitely a strong female, proactive character
Yeah.
that's moving the story along
Yeah.
and keeping that clock ticking.
What kind of role will you play in the, is the plural of crises?
In
the
what?
Crisis.
In the crisis that's happening in
Yes,
the world,
we'll go with
in
the
our
world.
world. Yeah. Well, he's a senator who is aspiring to higher office,
Right.
who is married to Miranda's character, and on the political level, we have our career tracks that we're on, and on our private level, in terms of the marriage, it's going to take its twists and turns.
Okay, a lot to look forward to. Thank you guys so much for stopping by.
Thank you.
you.
And you guys stay tuned to EW.com for all your Comic-Con news.